Hi guys, welcome to Von Cupcake Yoga. Today we're going to do a easy breezy 30-minute flow, specialized for people who've never done yoga. So I'm here for you if you've ever been curious to learn about yoga. I always encourage you to step foot into your local yoga studio. However, I understand that not everybody has the ability to do that. So that's what we're here for. So be sure that you're subscribed to my channel and we can practice our yoga at home. So find yourself a comfortable, quiet space. I always recommend a nice yoga mat. However, if you don't have one, you don't need one. You don't need any of these props. But today we're going to use blocks. And if you don't have a block, anything roughly about this size or shape, a nice heavy-duty book works well. But I do recommend you invest in a set of blocks. You can get them pretty cheap on Amazon. These are cork blocks, but they have great foam blocks. There's many different sizes. I recommend anytime you're trying to start a new yoga practice, props and things are great for you. Try a yoga block. That's going to work well for you. And today, as we move through our practice, I am going to give you many suggestions. Nothing here is a command. So if something doesn't serve your body, you cannot do that, and it's okay. We're going to find different options and different type of variations of these poses so that you can find what works for your body. So as we progress through our yoga practice today and in the future, I'll do more breakdown pose classes later, but for now, we're going to get started. So we want to find what's called an easy, comfortable seat, an easy seated pose, your first asana. You are officially doing yoga. So what is easy seated pose? Well, that's really just what it sounds like, sitting easy. That usually means crisscross applesauce, but maybe your knees aren't going to let you do that. It's okay to extend your legs. Find the easiest comfortable seat for you. That's what's important here. So we're going to find our easy comfortable seat, and we're going to make sure any juicy goodness that we got back there is going to move out of the way. We really want to sit right on our sitting bones. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to have our shoulders back and down. And maybe we close our eyes, or maybe we find a focal point. And we're going to draw all of our attention to our breath. Breathe in through your nose. Feel your chest rise. Feel your belly expand. Exhaling completely. Feel your chest gently waft down. And follow your breath. Pay attention to your breath, making no changes, just observing. Pay attention to how it feels when you inhale. Maybe that air is cool. Pay attention to how it feels when you exhale. Maybe we can use our ujjayi breath, which is in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Ujjayi, also meaning ocean breath, to mimic the sound of the ocean, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And do a quick little body scan. Kind of pay attention to what's going on in your body. Maybe there's some spots that feel a little bit crabby. So just pay attention to those. Breathe in that ujjayi breath. Send that right to those areas. Take in any noises that may be around you. Notice that they're there and let them float away on a cloud. Understand that any thoughts that might pop in your head, just put them on one of those little clouds and let them float away. They'll be back to you later. This is your time. Continuing to breathe. Maybe we start to deepen our breath, taking in as much air as our body will allow. And exhaling completely, maybe contracting those tummy muscles to push out any extra air that's still hanging out. Completely refreshing the air that is in our body, breathing in Big breath in. Exhale completely. And tonight we're going to set our intention for our practice. And what does that mean to set an intention? Kind of like a focal point, something for you to harness onto. Tonight's intention is growth. We're going to inhale new, fresh energy and exhale what came before. Inhale here, and then maybe we start to draw our arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe we look up, reaching those fingers in. Draw your palms together to touch and draw them down to your heart center, sealing that intention. Today we focus on growth. Growth is very important. It helps us change and evolve and move in a direction that is meant for us. Accept growth. Welcome growth. Extend your arms up to the ceiling. Big breath in. Bring that right hand down to the mat. Extend that left hand up and over, finding a side body stretch here. Maybe we look up if that serves your neck today. And we want to pay attention to what our left hip is doing. We want to keep that anchored down to the ground as we reach into our side body stretch. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can always walk those right fingers out and allow that deepening of your stretch. Focus on keeping that left hip anchored down and reaching with your fingers. Big breath in. Exhale completely. And gently draw your body back up to center. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, bring that left hand down. That right arm goes up and over. Maybe we look up here. Keep that right hip anchored down to the mat. Maybe we want to walk our fingers out if that feels nice for you. Reaching here. Breathing into those little bitty muscles that are around between your ribs. Big breath in, sigh it out. Gently draw yourself back up. Inhale, both those arms up. Exhale, turn those palms down. Gently bring those hands down. Airplane noises make everything better. Shoulders back and down, sitting up nice and tall. Let's extend that left leg forward. We're going to tuck this right foot in towards our groin, and our left foot is forward. It's okay if it's off at a slight angle. It can be directly in front of you, or maybe we make allowances for our bodies and move our bellies out of the way and allow our leg to come off to the side. It is okay to move that belly right on out of the way so that we can deepen our stretches. We're going to inhale our arms up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. And we're going to pivot our torso towards that extended leg, wherever it may be, and start to hinge at the hips, reaching forward. Reaching forward until we find our edge, keeping our back nice and flat, and then bringing those hands down wherever they may be, calves, ankles, feet, whatever works. Big breath in. Your back is going to be nice and flat. And then on your exhale, maybe we fold a little deeper. Maybe we allow our head to gently, the chin to come down to the chest. Take a couple breaths here. Gently start to walk your hands back. Returning to where you were. Inhale those arms up. Big breath in here. Pivot towards that extended leg. Once again, reach forward, hinging at the hips. Once you find that edge, wherever it may be, bring those hands down. And then let that chin, let that head release down. Take a couple breaths here. Exhale, gently walk your hands back up. And then we're going to bring that left foot back in and extend that right foot back out. We're just going to the other side. So we're going to tuck that left foot in towards our groin and our right foot is extended out. Make room and allowances for your belly. Maybe we need to move that a little bit out of the way, bringing it in so that we have full movement of our hips. Extend your arms up over your head. Pivot towards that extended leg. Reach forward. Find that edge. And then let those hands come down. Make your back nice and flat. Big breath here. And then on your exhale, maybe we deepen that fold. And that could be figuratively. Imagine it's a deepening. And you might not be moving at all, and that's okay. But once you find your edge, allow that chin to come down to your chest. Take a couple breaths here. Gently start to walk your hands back up towards you. Bring yourself back up to center. Inhale those arms up. We're going to do it one more time. Pivot your body towards that extended leg. Hinge at the hips. Reach forward until you find your edge there, and then bring those hands down wherever they may be. Make your back nice and flat. Big breath in. Exhale. Maybe we deepen that fold just a little bit. Release that head down. Inhale and exhale. Start to walk your hands back up. Draw this right leg back in and have the soles of your feet together to touch. Make allowances for your belly. Maybe we need to push our belly inwards a little bit so that we have our hips open for us. And you want to sit up nice and tall. Now, your feet can be as close or as far from your groin as is comfortable. Sometimes we have crabby knees and we need to extend them out a little bit, and that's totally okay. You can also take some blocks and tuck them underneath your knees if you find that you need some extra support there. That is available to you, so you can absolutely do that if you need. But you're going to draw your feet as close to your groin as feels right for you. And once you're there, you're going to sit up nice and tall here. Take a big breath here. Your hands can be on your knees, your shins, your feet, wherever they may be. Take a big breath here. Start to hinge at the hips, allowing yourself to come forward. Maybe it feels good to gently dip one shoulder and dip the other shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. And maybe we finally start to allow our head to drop. Maybe we allow our torso to start feeling heavy as we gently sway a little from side to side. If no movement serves you better, then don't sway, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm merely your guide. This is your practice. Take a couple breaths here. And start to slowly walk your hands back. And then we're going to extend our legs nice and wide. However that feels comfortable for you, as wide as is comfortable. Make sure you have all that juicy goodness back behind you. You want to really feel those hip bones sitting right into the floor. It's going to help you get the most out of your stretch, and it will help prohibit your extra fleshy bits from prohibiting your ability to stretch. So nice and tall, legs as wide as is comfortable, and extend your arms. Big breath here. Exhale, start to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Bring those hands down, and maybe we make allowances to move our belly. Find what feels right for you. Let the head feel nice and heavy. Take a breath here. Sigh it out completely. Let that chin come down towards the chest. Inhale and exhale. Start to walk your hands back. Bringing yourself up. We're going to do that one more time. Inhaling our arms up over our head. Big breath here, reaching towards the sky. Maybe we look up in between our hands and then start to hinge at the hips. Let that torso start to feel heavy, reaching forward until we find that edge, and then we can bring our hands down. Big breath here. Exhale completely. Let that chin come down to your chest. Tell your body you can let go. Breathe into those areas that might be talking to you. Send your breath right to those hamstrings, those inner thigh muscles. Start to walk your hands back. We're going to gently bring ourselves up, and we're going to come to what's called a tabletop, which is your hands and knees. Now, if you've got crabby knees, you can always take a blanket or something and put it underneath your knees to give yourself a little bit of cushion, or a nice thick mat works really well for you too. So we're going to come up on our hands and knees, and this is where we're going to get ourselves set up for success. I'm going to bring my blocks up to the top of my mat so that I have them ready for myself. And I'm going to come to my hands and knees. I'm going to make sure my knees are right underneath my hips and my wrists are right underneath my shoulders. Now, if you find that you've got some crabby wrists and maybe this isn't comfortable for you, try walking your hands one hand print forward. Maybe that feels better. And then spread your fingers nice and wide. Press your thumbs, your pointers, your middle fingers, your ring fingers, and your pinkies into the mat like you're gripping that mat. And then we're going to press into our hands. We're going to start to round our back, tucking our tailbone and letting our head and chin drop towards our chest. And imagine, if you will, a string pulling you up from the middle of your spine. Come into a cat pose, like a Halloween cat. And take a big breath here. And then on your exhale, maybe we let our tummy start to drop and our hips to come back to neutral. And maybe we allow our heart to shine forward and come into a cow pose, arching our back. Big breath here. And then on your exhale, tuck your tailbone. Let your head come down again. Return to that cat pose. And take a couple of these by yourself. Breathing into one and exhaling into the other. Nice and slow. Take your time. Do two more. One more. And then return to your tabletop, your neutral spine. And press into your hands and shift your hips down towards your knees. Maybe we need to spread our knees nice and wide to make allowances for our body and allow our chest and heart to find their way down to the mat. And this, my friend, is child's pose. Child's pose is available to you anytime during any practice throughout the entire world. If you need a break, if you need a breath, if you need a minute, come right to child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. Return to your breath. And then we're going to press into our hands, press into our knees, push ourselves back up to the tabletop. Line those knees underneath our hips, wrists underneath our shoulders. And then we're going to extend that left leg straight back, point those toes towards the floor. Pay attention to your hips. We really want our hips to be level. And maybe if you want something more here, you can extend that right arm out ahead of you, reaching with your fingers and pressing with your heel, finding a push-pull sensation here in your bird dog pose. Take one big breath. Exhale completely. Bring that right hand back down. Bring that left knee back down. Maybe we sway our hips a little bit from side to side. And let's try the other side, shall we? So extend that right leg back behind you. Press that heel towards the wall, toes pointing down. Pay attention to your hips. We want them to be as level as we can. And once we've got our base here, we can extend that left hand out ahead of us, reaching with our fingers with the same energy that we're pressing with our heel, finding that push-pull on the other side. Big breath in. Exhale completely. Bring that left hand down. Bring that right knee down. Sink those hips back. Find your child's pose. Let that head feel heavy. Spread those knees nice and wide. Take a couple breaths here. Press into your hands, returning to your tabletop. Grip that mat. Really press those fingers in. Tuck those toes underneath of you. Press into your feet, press into your hands, and lift your hips. Find your downward facing dog. And pedal out that dog, gently bending one knee and straightening the other knee. And then find your way up to the top of your mat, however you want to get there. I kind of crawl up there, but however you want to get there is fine. Hop, skip, jump, crawl. It's all good. We're going to find our way into a forward fold here. And spread your feet nice and wide. Make allowances for your body. Take a big breath here. Maybe it feels good to gently sway your torso from side to side. Returning to stillness, bring your hands to your shins. Create a flat back for yourself. Shoulders back and down. We want to keep our ears from bunching up around, our shoulders from bunching up around our ears. Big breath here. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into those knees, nice and deep. Press into those feet and gently, slowly roll that spine as you come to stand. Stacking those vertebrae one at a time until you got your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Finding yourself in a mountain pose, Tadasana. So my shoulders are back and down. My hands are pointed towards the ground. And I'm breathing here. Take a deep breath here. Fully engage your body. Press your toes into the mat. Tighten those quad muscles. Tighten that core. Press those glutes in. Really reach those fingers. Find full engagement throughout your entire body. And all we're doing is standing here, but we are fully engaged. And now let go of about 50%. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Big breath here. And then extend your arms up over your head. Take a deep breath here. And maybe it feels great to add a small back bend to this. Maybe we press our pelvis gently forward. Be gentle with yourself. Big breath in. Start to hinge at the hips, finding yourself coming down to a forward fold. Excellent. Big breath in. Bring your hands to your shins. Find your flat back. Great. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into both of your knees nice and heavy. Extending your arms towards the ground. Press into your feet and start to press your torso up, bringing your hands up. And we want to find your biceps by your ears and your knees bent, your back nice and straight. Find your chair pose. Take a big breath here. Sigh it out completely. Press into those feet. Start to draw your body up, returning to your full extension. Maybe it feels good to press those hips forward. And then maybe turn your palms out, come into a T. Exhale, completely swan dive all the way down, fold. Bend into those knees. Draw your hands forward. Press yourself up into your chair pose. Maybe we sink a little lower in our chair pose. Back nice and straight. Look down. Make sure you can see your toes. And if you can't, move a little bit till you do. Keeping that back nice and straight. Press into your feet. Extending your arms up over your head. Big breath in. And then draw your arms down, finding your mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a big breath here. Bring that right foot to the center of your mat. Step that left foot back nice and far. And then pivot that left foot so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. The length of the distance here is about as long as one leg. So use that as your general guide. However, if you need to shorten or widen your stance, you can absolutely do that. But we want to pivot our hips forward and bend into that front knee. And then we're going to extend our arms out to the side, finding our warrior two here. Breathe. Inhale here. Bend into that left or that right wrist. Bring it down to your forearm, down to your thigh. Extend that left arm up and over, finding a side body stretch here. Big breath in. Exhale completely. Press into that front foot. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw that body back up. Find your warrior two. And then we're going to turn that front right hand, palm facing up. Raise it up towards the ceiling. This left hand comes back down by our thighs. Find our peaceful warrior. That front leg can be straight or bent, depending on how you feel. Take a breath here. Exhale completely. Pressing into that front foot. Draw your body back up to your warrior two. Beautiful. Now straighten that front leg. Kick that left sassy hip out. Reach forward with that right hand and then draw it down. This is a great place for a block. So we draw that hand down. Maybe we rest our hand on a block here. What do you do with this hand? Well, we're going to extend that hand towards the ceiling. And if this doesn't serve you, you can always bring it back behind your back. Press that shoulder back. Find your triangle pose. Big breath in. Let it out completely. Start to bend into that front knee. Press into that front foot. Draw your body back up. Returning to your warrior two. And then step it forward. Give your body a little wiggle. We all right. We all right. I'm going to go to the other side of the mat because I don't want to put my back to you. So we're going to find our way to the back of our mat or the top of your mat, however you like. And find that mountain pose once again. Shoulders back and down, feet nice and wide. Press those toes into the mat, reaching those hands down. Beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to step back with the right foot. Pivoting that right leg, bending into that front knee, extending our arms out to the side, finding our warrior two on this side. Sink into that, pressing that blade of your foot, and then we'll bring that left arm down to your forearm, that right arm up and over, finding a side body stretch on this side. Big breath in. Exhale completely. Press into that front foot. Gently draw your torso back to your warrior two. Beautiful. Now turn that left palm up. Raise it up towards the sky. Bring that right palm back down behind your thigh. Find your peaceful warrior. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Return to your warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Kick that sassy hip out. Reach forward with that left hand and bring it down to a block or the floor, whatever you like. And once you find your base, we can extend that arm up towards the sky or tuck it back behind us, pressing our shoulder back. Find what feels right for you. Inhale and exhale. Bend into that front knee. Press into that front foot. Draw your body back up. Return to your warrior two and step up to your mat. Shake it out a little bit and find your mountain pose, your Tadasana. Big breath in, sigh it out completely. Extend your arms up over your head. Inhaling here. Exhale, bring your arms out to a T. Swan dive, fold forward. Take a couple breaths here in your forward fold. Inhaling in, exhaling completely. Bend into your knees nice and deep here. Plant your hands on the mat and step those feet back, finding your down dog. Once again, pedal it out a couple times, and then gently lower those knees down to the mat, and then gently come to a seat. That's not so bad, is it? And so once we come to a seat, we're going to come on down and extend our legs and gently, gently lower our body down, coming to a laying position. Take a breath here. Give your body a little bit of time to adjust. Sometimes when we go from standing into the floor, it takes a minute. The older we get, sometimes it takes a couple minutes. And that's okay. And once you feel like your body has adjusted to being on the floor, draw your knees to your chest. Find yourself in a little happy ball here, and maybe rock a little from side to side. And maybe we take a little extra time in our rocking from side to side. Maybe a spot feels really good. You can always hang out there for a second. Lower those feet down to the floor. And gently sway those knees from side to side. Maybe as we sway those knees from side to side, we allow it to get real dramatic, and maybe that hip lifts up off the floor. Maybe our knees gently find their way to the right side of our mat. And you can always take a block and tuck it underneath your knees if you'd like some additional support. Bring your arms out to a T and turn your gaze to the left. So your gaze and your knees are facing opposite directions. Take a couple big breaths here. Inhaling completely, exhaling completely. Use that Ujjayi breath. Inhale growth, inhale change. Exhale what came before and what no longer serves you. I'm so proud of you. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw those knees back to center. Draw your gaze back to center. And continue on your merry swaying knees here, letting those hips gently come up off the ground as we sway from side to side. And then maybe we gently allow those knees to come down to the left. Maybe we turn our gaze to the right. Breathe nice and deep here. Inhaling growth, inhaling new, fresh energy, and let go of what came before. Tighten up on those tummy muscles. Draw those knees back to center. Draw that gaze back to center. Plant those feet on the mat. Bring your arms down by your side. Maybe your palms are facing down. And maybe you kind of heel toe your feet around so they feel like they're probably in line with your hips. And while alignment is important, we need to let go of the attachment that it has to be perfect, because we are not perfect. No two bodies are the same. And so you make allowances for your body, and that's completely okay. So now we've got our feet kind of sort of in line with our hips, and our arms are down to the side. We're going to press into our feet, and we're going to lift our hips just a little bit here, pointing our knees towards that wall in front of us, pointing our hips towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, gently start to roll your spine back down one vertebrae at a time until those hips settle back down. Take a big breath here. We're going to do it one more time. So press into those feet, lift up on those hips, press those knees towards the wall ahead of you, press those hips up. Maybe this is where you need to be, and this is it for you. You can also kind of tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. You can also draw your hands below you, clasping your fingers together and pressing your palms towards your feet, finding a bridge pose here as well. Big breath in, let it out completely. And if you chose to clasp your hands, you can let those go, and you can let that back gently roll back down to the floor. Extend those feet. Splay those feet out to the side. Let your shoulders feel heavy. Take a couple breaths here. This is the most important part of our practice, our Shavasana. The art of learning to be still. And if our mind tends to wander, it's totally okay. Just put those thoughts on that little cloud and send it on its way. And now turn your attention to your breath. We're going to breathe here for just a few minutes, and I'll bring you back when it's time. Start to return to your breath. Inhaling big here. Feel your chest rise. Feel your belly expand. Exhaling completely. Maybe we wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes. Maybe we gently bend our knees. Maybe we gently find our way onto our side, finding a fetal pose. Take a couple breaths here. This is your renewal, your refresh. Gently, slowly start to press yourself up, finding your way back to your easy seated pose. And tonight, as we seal our practice, let's extend our arms one more time up towards the heavens, drawing our palms together to touch, and down towards our heart center. And press those thumbs right up against your heart. Connect to yourself. The light in me sees and honors, is very proud of and grateful for the light in each of you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting new videos pretty regularly. I'm going to try to do one once a week, if not more. So be sure you're subscribed. And I also want to thank A Little Twisted Yoga Studios in Palmetto, Florida for allowing me to use her space. And I also recommend, if you don't have a yoga studio to belong to, find one in your area. There's many yoga studios around, and most of them are very welcoming to all types of bodies. And that is kind of a myth that you feel like you're not welcome, but you are. Otherwise, you can always join me right here at Von Cupcake Yoga. Until then, be well. See you next time, guys. Bye.